In today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how to 10x your productivity and performance if you're an entrepreneur. Because the truth is, when you 10x yourself in your own productivity, you're naturally going to 10x the output in your business as well. And if you're new here, my name is Max. I run an SMMA super niche marketing agency, and on this channel we explore how to start, run, and grow a successful marketing agency that can help us produce great results for our clients, but also helps us as the entrepreneur to achieve financial time and location freedom. So without further ado, let's just dive into my computer. Let's get started with this video. All right, so we're inside of my computer, and now let's just dive into it. So here's what I'm going to cover today. First of all, goals, routines, then we're going to talk about sleep, diet, and exercise, which is huge, and then a summary. But before we do that, I also want to mention that I have a 100% free SMMA course where I help people to go from zero to at least $10,000 per month with a social media marketing agency for free in 90 days or less. It's a free course, free community, and also free weekly Q&A calls. Make sure to check it out. And also, pro tip, watch this video in double speed if you want to save yourself some time. But for now, let's just dive into point number one, and that is goals, right? So the biggest mistake that most entrepreneurs make is that they don't spend enough time to think, right? They drown in the email inbox, always something to do, always a fire that needs to be put out. So I used to live like this in my business for the longest period of time. I just woke up in the morning, opened my laptop, opened my email inbox, and I was straight into work, having to reply to people. Then I needed to do this thing, then that thing, this fire to put out, etc. And I never gave myself time to think. And if you're running your own business, I'm sure that you can recognize yourself in this, that you're always trying to catch up and you never have time to actually sit down and think about what it is that you're actually doing. So what I recommend that you do is that you allocate time to think, and you do that every single day. I do 1 hour of thinking just before going to bed and 30 to 45 minutes of thinking before I dive into work every single morning. This keeps my mind focused on innovating new ideas constantly. It's worth gold, literally. I can't tell you how many ideas I've been getting from my thinking that I do every single night and every single morning that have resulted in thousands and tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars in my bank account. It's worth gold, literally. Because when you constantly keep your mind thinking about your goals and what it is that you're going to do, then your brain is naturally going to work on those problems in the back of your head. So when you sleep during the night and then wake up in the morning, you will have solutions to problems and new ideas and new inspirations just coming out of thin air, essentially. That will help your business tremendously. So if you're not allocating time to think every morning and night, I highly recommend that you try it out. The third thing I want to discuss here is just what is your actual goal? Do you actually know your goal? So having a generic revenue goal that doesn't excite you, it won't do much for you, right? So you must have a goal that truly excites you, gives you a purpose to work, a goal that is long-term and involves something bigger than yourself. So in the past, I used to have a goal that, okay, I want to grow my business to $100,000 per month or whatever now might be, right? And that is exciting for a time. But as you evolve as an entrepreneur, money doesn't really excite you that much anymore. You have enough to kind of provide for yourself and live. You can buy whatever you want, to kind of do whatever you want. Obviously, there's a ton more money that to make out there, and there's levels to everything, right? But money doesn't really excite you that much. And what excites us as entrepreneurs is to solve new things, right? To figure out things, to have a look at the market and see if we can do it better, essentially, right? That is what truly excites us. So you might have a goal that you want to grow your agency, let's say, but you need to spend more time thinking about your goals and kind of put a twist on it so that you have something that truly excites you. And I cannot give you that answer to you what that now might be. You have to figure that out for yourself. And I can just tell you about my goal, right? So my goal is to grow my agency and also to help millions of people to grow their own social media marketing agencies as well. And I'm doing it completely for free. That idea is extremely exciting to me. It's the first thing that I think about waking up in the morning, and it's also the last thing that I think about before I go to bed. Just imagine that, helping hundreds of thousands or even millions of people to change their lives, start to earn money online from a real business, and also be able to provide for themselves and their family. I know how much a service-based business and a social media marketing agency changed my life. It completely changed my life. And the idea of helping others to do the same thing, it gives me a tremendous amount of purpose. That's why I run this YouTube channel. That's why I have my free course and everything. And the response has been amazing so far. And if you haven't already, make sure to check out the free course and join the community. The community is truly amazing. So what's your plan, right? To achieve your goal, you need a plan. So creating plans for an exciting future is fun and it will get your head spinning. Again, you need time to think to figure this out. So if you're not spending time every single morning and every single night actually giving yourself time to think, first of all, you're never going to figure out a goal that excites you. And if you don't have a goal that excites you, you're never going to create good plans to actually achieve that. So it all goes back to giving yourself time to think. And it's worth giving yourself 1 to 2 hours to think every single day and sacrificing some work in your email inbox. It doesn't even compare. And the best recommendation I can give you to aid you in this quest of starting to think better and figuring out your goals and your plans and so forth is to read Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich. This is the first book that I read when I started my journey. Then I kind of lost it and I didn't read it for years. But now I've gone back to it for the past like month or two, and I'm reading this book every single night now. So I'm basically rereading the book every single night, and it's giving me new ideas all the time. It's like a complete new book every single night that I read it. And if you don't know who Napoleon Hill is, I highly recommend that you look into him. He basically interviewed some of the most successful people back in the day when he was living. He wrote this book in 1937, and this book is called The Entrepreneurial Bible. So if you go to maxpearson.com/Napoleon, it will redirect you to the book on Amazon. Buy it and read it. I can highly recommend. But most importantly, implement everything that he's talking about. That is what's going to make a difference. Now let's continue to the next point, and that is routines. Okay, so if you're not controlling the day is controlling you. All right, this is crucial. If you don't know what you're going to do tomorrow or the next day or the day after that, if you don't have a plan around your day, the day will control you. You will be thrown a bunch of different directions. You will say yes to everything and not get anything done, essentially. So the first thing that I highly recommend that you do is to create and implement routines, and that changed my life completely. It gives direction, creates purpose, and creates momentum as well. Most importantly, it's how I got my shit together, essentially, right? It's crucial for an entrepreneur to have your shit together, because if you don't have your personal shit together, your business will not have its shit together neither, for lack of a better word. And when I mean that it builds momentum in a huge way, especially when you get your thinking right and you actually have a real goal that you're working towards, and you get all your plans and all of your action back of that plan. It will build momentum like nothing else. The second thing I want to discuss is the night routine, right? So I do the same thing every single night. I spend 60 to 90 minutes every single night before I go to sleep. I read, I review my goals, and I brainstorm. I basically think out loud. I basically role play with the future. And this is where all my ideas are born. So basically what I do, I go to my bedroom, I sit down for 60 to 90 minutes, I light some candles, I do a wind down routine to get it very cozy and get ready for bed. I read some, I review my goals, and then I basically just sit in my room and I basically talk for myself. I role play, I imagine the future and how things will go, and I talk out loud. I might imagine myself sitting in a specific meeting or making a specific deal or being in an interview talking about what I did and so forth. This is just a fun exercise, and it kind of tricks your brain to already be where you want to be. And these are just things that you get better at over time, and it's when you use your imagination and your creativity that ideas come to you. And this is what Napoleon Hill talks about in his book as well. Your brain is the most powerful computer on earth. You have to use it. If you're constantly dumbing yourself down with entertainment 24/7, and if you're watching like a Netflix series before you go to bed, as I did for years, then that is going to be like the thing that your brain optimizes for. How is Jon Snow going to die at the end? Will kind of be the quest that your brain is working on. And that's fine, right? I'm not saying that that's bad, but if you're an entrepreneur and you're trying to do something and build something and actually change your life and other people's lives, maybe it's better to use your imagination, something that is in line with your goals, than like rewatching Game of Thrones 2 or 3 times, right? I'm sure you get the idea. Then also what I do is that I have a morning routine, right? So I wake up at 7, I meditate, I visualize, I do a cold shower, I walk my dog, then I'm back at my computer at 8:15, I review my goals, I track my sleep data, I write a journal, which is huge. Again, I basically brainstorm and give myself time to think out loud and play with my imagination about the plans for the future. So normally what I do right before I go to bed, I do my night routine, I play with my imagination, I get new ideas, I write them down on a piece of paper, and then in the morning when I get into my computer, I write everything down in a journal in my Google Docs. And then for the rest of the day, I do my normal work, but I have those set routines every morning and night, before sleep and after sleep, where I do my imagination and my thinking for my business. This is fun and it's extremely powerful. It's more powerful than the actual work that you do during the day, because it's the thinking that will make you work in the right direction. And if you're sailing a boat in the wrong direction, you're never going to get to your goals. And the main thing is to figure out your direction and figure out how to get there and then work towards that direction. You will not have to work as hard, because every single step you take takes you closer to the goal, instead of going in circles or in wrong directions so you have to walk back, etc., etc. So in summary, do your thinking. It pays off. The fourth thing I want to discuss is deep work, right? So this is also a very powerful routine. So between 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. I do deep work. I only work on one thing for 3 hours, and I don't let anything disturb me. No phone, no notifications, no emails, no social media, no nothing. This is a game changer. And there's a book out there called Deep Work, written by Cal Newport. If you haven't read it, definitely do. But in summary, what it talks about in this book is just summarized here essentially. Just work on one thing for 3 hours and don't clutter your brain with your email inbox or social social media. And don't let anything disturb you. Just do one thing for 3 hours. That's how you get into flow and get high quality work done. The final thing I want to mention here is just to identify the negative. So what are you doing each day that drains your energy? What are your negative habits? Are you using too much social media or watching YouTube too much? Do you play games? Do you listen to too many podcasts? What's distracting you and eating up all of your energy? Identify it and minimize it. Now, let's continue to sleep, diet, and exercise. And I know you might think this is boring, but this is huge. This is crucial, especially if you're a high-performing person, an entrepreneur. You need to get those normal things or these boring things in check. So the first thing is sleep, and sleep is huge. Like going to bed and waking up at the same time is crucial. Having a wind down routine before bed helps a lot. I only get light from candles for like 60 to 90 minutes before I go to bed. No TV, no phone, or no screen. So before I started to track my sleep, I thought my sleep was pretty good, and I thought I was going to bed at the same time every single night, but I wasn't. Some nights I was going to bed at like past 12. Another night it was 11:30, then 1:30, etc., etc. It was all over the place. And it was only when I got my sleep in check that I started to improve and feel a lot better during the day. Another huge thing is diet, right? And diet is a complete discipline in itself. And I'm no expert at dieting or anything like that, right? I just know that you are what you eat essentially. If you eat shitty food, you're gonna feel like shit. That's pretty simple. If you eat good food, you're gonna feel good. So some questions you can ask yourself, like, do you eat real food? Do you eat enough? Do you eat enough food? Or do you eat too much food? A strong body is a strong mind. For a high-performing entrepreneur, diet is crucial. And these are simple things, but most of us entrepreneurs, we don't take care of our sleep because we think we need to work 24/7. And a lot of people don't take care of their diet as well. So they sleep too little, feeling like shit, and then they eat shitty food and they feel even more like shit. And by just optimizing your sleep and eating better food, you can feel better. And by feeling better, you're going to perform better and have better results in your business. The next thing I want to talk about is exercise, right? Again, a strong body is a strong mind. Go to the gym, swim, run, walk, bike, or do all of them, right? What do you enjoy? Do that essentially. You must do something. It's a journey about building and evolving, right? Working out is about building and evolving and becoming better. And this is what we love as entrepreneurs, right? And if you've never gone to the gym, you might not think that is that fun. It's going to suck. You cannot lift anything. You feel weak. But if you just stick to and you do that for a long period of time, you're going to become stronger and it's going to become fun. And you're also going to feel better. I remember when I had the weakest legs in the world. It also gives you a lot of confidence knowing that you can actually move some weights or run fast or swim fast or whatever now might be that you enjoy. And it's also good for your body. So definitely do exercise. The fourth thing I want to discuss is tracking. And tracking is crucial. And to track my sleep, I use an Aura ring that you can see right here. And for my diet, I use my MyFitnessPal. And then for my training, I use an app called TrueCoach. And tracking your workouts is a game changer because you keep track of how many reps you did, what exercise you did, and how many sets you did, what weights you did, and how you felt. So this is how you keep track of how you progress every single workout. And it also keeps you accountable every single workout to do a little bit better than the last workout. Same thing goes if you're going to track your diet. It all comes back to your goals. Like, do you want to be in a calorie deficit or in a surplus, and then just implement the discipline to actually follow that. And that is also fun because it builds momentum. Like right now, for example, I'm in a calorie deficit and I see myself becoming leaner every single week. And again, as an entrepreneur, that's fun. Figuring out the game and becoming better at it over time. The final thing I want to discuss is a performance coach, right? And a performance coach is something that I'd never used previously. I thought I had pretty good check on my sleep, diet and exercise, but I thought, hey, why not just try to work with a performance coach? So I did. And I mostly did it for fun, honestly, to see what I could learn. But never did I think that it would have such a big impact on my life and my business. It changed everything for me. My performance coach basically helped me to get my shit together. He put up a plan and he kept me accountable to actually follow the plan. And that's where the real change actually happens, when you do something and commit to it and do it over a long period of time. So now it's basically your turn to get your shit together. All right, so let's summarize this video. So the first thing, your business is a reflection of yourself. A person with a messy home will most likely have a messy car as well, right? A person with a messy life will most likely have a messy business as well. So get your shit together. It's crucial, especially if you're an entrepreneur. The second thing I want to talk about is that you shouldn't just work. You're an entrepreneur. You're a visionary. You must give yourself time to dream, build plans, and think. It's so common for entrepreneurs to fall victim to the daily to-dos. Don't fall for that trap. Work hard, but work smart. Use the most powerful computer on earth, your brain. If you're an entrepreneur and you're just ignoring the power of your own brain, you're just costing yourself so much time and effort and energy. You can make it so much easier for you if you understand how powerful your brain is and if you learn how to utilize it for yourself and for your business and for other people. And again, I highly recommend that you read Think and Grow Rich if you want to learn how to optimize your brain and your thinking. The third thing I want you to remember after today's video is to create create routines. This is crucial. You don't have to plan your day minute by minute, but at least have a wake-up routine and a wind-down routine at night. Make room for thinking, reviewing your goals, and also do some journaling. It's huge. And then the fourth thing I want to mention as well that I don't want you to remember is to buy Think and Grow Rich, read it, then read it again and again and again. And as always, make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel and follow me on Instagram as well, where I post a ton of interesting updates regarding the free SMMA course. And if you haven't already, make sure to check out the free SMMA course, where I help people to go from zero to at least $10,000 per month in 90 days or less. We have a free course, a free community, and free weekly Q&A calls. The community is growing like crazy, and the interaction in the community is awesome, and you're getting a ton of help from other people on the same journey as yourself. And I'm in there personally replying to pretty much everybody as well. But it's growing quick, so I'm having a tough time keeping up, just being honest. And today's quote is from Kanye West. I'm not comfortable with comfort. I'm only comfortable when I'm in a place where I'm constantly learning and growing. There's also another saying that a stagnant mind is the devil's workshop. And if you're an entrepreneur, I'm sure that you can recognize this. When you feel that you're not progressing or working on something that doesn't feel right, you don't have the right vision or not working in the right direction, that's when everything goes to shit, essentially. So that's why it's so important to have your shit together. And I hope that this video helped you with that. All right, so that's basically it for today's video. And again, as mentioned, hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure that you leave a like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below as well. If you have any specific routines or things that you do as an entrepreneur that helps you a ton, share it with the community. Also, make sure to check out the free course as mentioned, and I hope to see you in the community and on the weekly Q&A calls.